Senator Risa Hontiveros. Ma'am, you have 10 minutes. Thank you.
Salamat, Mr. Chair. Maayong buntag, Madam Vice President. Madam Vice President, during the 6 years of your term, ano yung ipopursue nyo na primary mandates ng inyong opisina?
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, Yusek Lopez will answer the question.
Mr. Chair, Madam Vice President, if you don't mind.
Thank you.
Tungkol po, sorry, Chief of Staff. Mr. Chair, it's a general question kung anong primary mandates ang ipopursue ni VP during the 6 years of her term. So kung maaari po si VP ang sumagot.
Yes,
Mr.
okay.
Chair.
Yes,
Salamat tayo.
Yes, there will be only two permanent projects that we will leave in the Office of the Vice President. One is the permanent office and residence of the future Vice Presidents. The second is the Vice President's Museum. And yes, that's two. And then the third is the omnibus law about the charter of the Office of the Vice President. So that's three.
Salamat kayo, Madam VP. But I was asking po about primary mandates of your office. Ito po, I understand 2 or 3 permanent projects, yung permanent office, yung VP's museum, saka yung omnibus law or charter governing the office of the Vice President. Pero in terms of your office itself, ano yung primary mandates that you will seek to achieve? Alin po sa mga primary mandates na yon, as you conceive them in support of the primary mandates of the OP, alin sa mga primary mandates na yon ang masusuportahan or specifically gagastusan ng confidential funds na i-allocate ng Kongreso sa office nyo?
Yes, Mr. Chair, Your Honor, the constitutional mandate of the Office of the Vice President is only to be a reserve, a bench warmer, in the event of, I do not want to mention it, but in the event that the President cannot discharge his functions, that is the constitutional mandate of the Office of the Vice President. Apart from that, all the other projects of the Office of the Programs, Projects, and Activities of the Office of the Vice President will depend largely on the decision and discretion of the incumbent elected Vice President.
Broad terms po, saang mga activities na enumerated sa joint circular gagamitin yung confidential funds?
It varies. Not all the activities are the same for each day and each month. The liquidation of the confidential funds includes the enumeration of the uses of the Office of the Vice President.
Really, I'll get to that process also in a bit. Dahil meron pong established na intelligence cycle at meron pong established na chain of command for the intelligence activities ng ating gobyerno at ng ating republika. And sa pagkaalam ko po, walang hiwalay na chain of command for Intel ang OVP. In fact, ang susunod kong tanong how can your honorable office, paano nyo po maa-assure yung mga miyembro nitong komite na yung collection ng intel ng inyong opisina hindi magre-resulta sa redundancy or duplication of effort?
There is no redundancy and duplication of effort because we have different mandates from the other government agencies.
Indeed, Mr. Chair, Madam VP, different mandates. And kanina, nilista nyo na po yung iba't ibang mandates ng OVP. Meron din pong klarong at complementary mandate ang intelligence community ng gobyerno sa ating bansa. And as I had been saying since last year's budget debates, we should leave intelligence to the experts, just as we leave education to the DepEd and we leave the mandates of the OVP to the OVP. Ano po ba yung magiging subjects ng OVP intelligence gathering operations? Ano yung mga intensyon at capabilities ng mga subjects na ito na kailangan ng OVP ng intelligence on these? At paano nitong mga subjects tinathreaten yung operations ng OVP?
Just to inform
Yes,
the
Mr. Chair.
good Deputy Minority, she has 2 minutes left. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Halos tamang-tama po. I just have 4 last questions after this one. At kung maubusan ng oras, I can put the last 2 or so questions on record para sa OVP and the good chair. Salamat, Mr. Chair.
Yes, the confidential funds is used for the safe, secure, and successful implementations of the projects, programs, and activities and engagements of the Office of the Vice President.
At Madam VP, paano i-collate ng OVP, isa-store, ika-catalog, isa-search through yung intelligence na kukolektahin? At anong IT infrastructure ang kakailanganin ng office nyo para sa purpose na ito?
Yes, Mr. Chair, Your Honor, these are confidential matters which we cannot divulge in open session. Thank you.
Continuing from yung pagbanggit ko sa 2015 joint resolution na what the confidential funds may only be used for, nakasulat din dun sa 2015 joint resolution na confidential and intelligence funds cannot be used for salaries, wages, overtime, additional compensation, allowance, or other fringe benefits of officials and employees who are employed by the government in whatever capacity or elected officials except when authorized by law. Confi and Intel funds cannot be used for representation, consultancy fees, or entertainment expenses, or construction or acquisition of buildings or housing structures. So, dagang salamat, Madam VP. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair. I'll pursue in plenary periods of interpellation and amendments. One of my main subjects of debate with the OVP na yung Confi and Intel funds mas properly lodged talaga dun sa ibang line items ng opisina mismo o sa mga intelligence agencies talaga ng ating gobyerno na ginagawa itong mga mandates nito even for the civilian agencies and offices and departments like the OVP. Salamat, Mr.
Thank you very
Chair.
much, Deputy
At salamat kay
Minority Leader
Minority Leader sa
and
additional
Vice
comments.
Chair Risa, Senator
Mr. Chair.
Risa. Yes,
Yes.
yes, Vice President.
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, the Office of the Vice President can only propose the use of confidential funds based on Joint Circular 2015-01, but we leave it to the decision and discretion of the members of Congress who has the power of the purse to decide whether to grant confidential funds to our office. We can only propose, but we are not insisting. We can live without confidential funds. But of course, our work will be much easier if we have the flexibility of confidential funds in monitoring the safe, secure, and successful implementations of the programs, projects, and activities of the Office of the Vice President. Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Thank you, Vice President. Yes,
yes, thank you
Senator.
kayo to Madam VP and to Mr. Chair. And for sure, Congress will continue to exercise that power of the purse both para suportahan yung mandates ng OVP lalo na sa mga line item programs, activities, and projects, and also properly allocate yung Confi and Intel funds lalo na sa mga intel agencies ng gobyerno. Salamat, Mr.
Thank
Chair.
you, Vice Chair Senator Risa. Does Congress still have the power of the purse? I'm not so sure, but anyway, that's a separate debate.